now, and I'll share my screen. Good. So once again, good morning, everybody. I'll be running you through the session of how to create a blog website using WordPress. Now, WordPress is a very popular web design tool. As a matter of fact, you can actually use WordPress to design an entire website without really knowing much coding. But the thing about doing website that way is that there will be limitation. You know, there's a limit to what you can actually achieve if you don't know how to write proper coding. So from next week, we'll look at I'll look at the structure very well. I want to be able to have prepared all my materials such that for 5 days, 6 days, those who are interested in learning how to design websites would sign up online. Now, why do we want to do this? It's not only because we feel that we need to empower ourselves. It's our frigate initiative, but most importantly, it's also something that I'm very passionate about. So I do this as a business, and I'm also seeing how to improve our structure as an association and help myself also grow. So it's a two-way thing. So for people that might think I'm just doing it, it's not about just doing it. If I don't see people attending, I'll obviously stop doing it. So as long as I have 1 or 2 people that are interested, it means that I would still continue to run this training, because I once I end this class, I'll probably run another class. So quickly, let me show you a couple of blogs. For some of you, you probably have come across my own blog, which is luabikoye.com. Luabikoye.com is just where I share my own thoughts as regards any knowledge I've read or experience that I've had, or something that comes to mind. Most times it's a composition of training or books that I've read. I try to put my own summary together to share with a few friends and community. So other popular blogs that I'm sure you know is Linda Ikeji. Now, Linda Ikeji runs a blog website, and that's what she does for a living. So well, probably she must have been doing, she should be doing a whole lot. But one thing about Linda Ikeji's blog is that she leveraged on a free blog. So her blog is not even it's not design based, it's just content based. She has information that people want to read. So that's why her blog thrives. It's not like her blog is a very well designed blog. It's a free blog that she just put together content and people keep reading. So the traffic that she drives to her blog that made her blog very relevant, and she makes money out of all the adverts that you see here. So for those who like to write, or those who feel that yes, they might want to even start doing any small thing around websites, you can start running a blog. So there are free blog websites like Blogspot. I think it's blogspot.com. There's blogger.com. I think Linda Ikeji used blogspot.com. I guess that has been renamed to blogger.com. Blogspot.com is owned by Google, if I'm not mistaken. So you just create an account here. Create a new account here, and your blog is ready to go. But one thing about the free blog website is something that is not very, very professional. So we have people who want more professional blog. They might not be commercialized, but they definitely want something neatly done, professionally done, and they have full control over. So I recently have a client, Tosin Oyebola. She's a top HR person, and she wanted her blog set up for her. So this is something that was done recently. So now, how can you achieve something like this? And if you get used to WordPress very well, starting from developing blog, it means that you can easily move into designing websites with WordPress. So now, so that we have clear understanding of how the web itself works, I'll share a small introduction to what web is about. So now, website itself, it's one major thing. So you need to understand what websites are, domain names, web hosting, programming languages, and the rest. So if I say how the internet works, a lot of us don't really, we browse, yes, we do a lot of stuff, but not all of us understand how the internet works. So the internet is a worldwide network of computers linked together by telephone wires, satellites, mobile ISPs, and the rest. Now, what makes the internet is all our system, our phone, our iPads, and the rest connected together. But how do we connect? There's usually a system called a server, and all our laptops as individuals are called browsers. So that's why you hear the popular word then when cyber cafes were still reigning. You say, I want to go and browse. Some people felt that was the wrong English. It's actually a correct English because you are a browser. You as an individual, you're a browser. So the activity of surfing the internet is called browsing. So the systems that connect to the internet are called browser. And that's why even your software that you use to connect to the internet, like Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Chrome, and the rest are called browser. Which browser do you use? Which browser do you use? So you connect. So when you try to connect to the internet, it's similar to you are first gaining access to a server. So which server do you access? So at the moment, before we started this class, I said one or two people were complaining about MTN not connecting properly. For those that use Glo, you connect to Glo server, you connect to the internet through Glo servers. I connect to the internet through maybe SpectraNet server. Someone else connects to the internet through Airtel server. So if your server is down, meaning your ISP network is down, that is where because most time we use this word. Oh, my server did down. My network no go. So your server at that point is down. So Airtel is the server that helps you connect to other computers in the world. So when you do a website, it needs to sit on a server. So a server, that kind of server is now called hosting server. So a server that hosts websites. So if I say I want to visit a website called alphagalion.org, alphagalion.org is sitting on a hosting server, maybe somewhere in the USA, a company called GoDaddy. But before I can connect to alphagalion.com, I must first gain access to the internet. And that means I need an ISP. So going back to the previous slide, an ISP server. So that ISP server helps you connect to another system on the internet. So the only way somebody can access information, and that's why your system, even though you're connected to the internet, nobody can pick a file from your system, from his own system, unless you guys are sharing the same network. So in the office, for those that work in a shared network, you see that until your system has been configured into that network, someone cannot pick a file from your system, or you can't pick a file from the system. So if you have a central printer, you are not connecting to the printer without connecting to the internet or the network that printer is connected to. So there must be a relationship with your system, your ISP, and the server where your files are hosted. So to view a web page, what typically happens is that you type a web address. A web address is something similar to what I had mentioned earlier, saying www.alphagalion.org, or you click a link that a designer has connected to alphagalion.org. And what happens immediately is your ISP, which is Glo. If Glo is not working at that period, it means that you cannot find alphagalion.org. So Glo first gets the message. Now look for where is alphagalion.org in the whole world, in the whole servers, in the entire universe. And once it finds it, it now displays the files, which are the web pages that has been designed for alphagalion.org. Excuse me. So now, the hosting server that has alphagalion.org, if the person who designed the website has not prepared the pages very well, or the server is down, or a file there is deleted, that's when you start getting errors like page not found, error 404, because Your server has connected to the server that alphagideon.org sits, but unfortunately, he cannot find the file that he needs to display to you. So another thing you need to understand clearly are domain names. Domain names is just a name that you use to identify your website or your server. So for instance, before we had phone that you can save people's number, a website or a server is usually identified with an IP address. So let's say a 123.434.1.1 is the IP address for alphagideon.org. But if I were to be accessing 50 different websites every day, how many numbers like that would I be cramming? It would be very difficult. So it's like saying that, oh, I will go about with a notebook and start writing people's phone numbers. Oh, Olumide, I'll write his phone number out there. So then when our fathers used to move around with diary, that's kind of hard work they go through. So when they want to call Olumide, they now have to go to where they have typed Olumide, where they have saved Olumide's number. The only time they can dial Olumide directly is the phone number they remember offhand. But how many phone numbers? If I ask you now, how many phone numbers do you have in your head? You don't need to have people's phone number because you've saved their phone number with a name that you would remember. So if you're looking for Yemi on your phone and you know that, oh, you probably saved him with Yemi EcoBank or maybe another Yemi 1 or Yemi 2. You just type Yemi and you select the one you want to dial. You don't need to know Yemi's phone number. So that's the way the internet works. It's the same thing. Domain name is just a name that they use to identify a particular website. So I can register a name, say femi.com, and I don't want to do anything with it. The only thing I have done is to have registered it, meaning that no one else can register that name. If I don't tie the name to a website, it means that if they type femi.com, it will probably not display anything. So now femi.com in this example is a domain name. But where the domain name sits is a web server or a host server. Now we have different types of domain extension. They call them top-level domain. Those are the identifiers for the type of domain you have bought. So if I want to do anything that has to do with education, I'll register academyalpha.edu. So anybody that sees that kind of domain name would know that this is an educational website. Same thing with .gov. .org is for organization. .mil is for military. So .gov are usually not registered without government approval. So you can't just get .gov. There's a process to get a .gov domain. .com, .net, .ca means Canada, .ng means Nigeria. We all know .co.uk, .usa. So those are just identifiers so that if somebody gets the domain name, it can already know that, oh, this is a USA company. Oh, this is an educational website. This is an NGO and the rest. So now web hosting is actually where your website sits. A web hosting is a type of internet hosting service that allows individual organizations to make their website accessible to the world. So now your website sits on a web hosting. You can't leave your website on your system and expect people to be able to browse www.yourdomainname.com and it opens it. Your website needs to sit, your files needs to sit on a server that is accessible by all the ISP. So there are differences that you must know. A domain name is like getting a business name. But the difference between a domain name and a business name is you get your domain name instantly as soon as you register it. And because the internet is free, everybody have access to owning any domain name that is available. Unlike when you want to go and register a CAC, the process is you first go and file, check availability. It takes like, well, I think they do that almost instantaneous now. But before now, it can take like 3 weeks. You have to go back and start asking, is the name available? They'll tell you, oh, someone else has taken the name, or this name are available. Then they will now register it for you after you paid. So it's something similar. So check online, there are websites where you register domain. You just look for the domain name. They'll probably tell you it's between $10 to $20 for most domain name, usually $10 to $15 for domain name. And you have it registered. It means that nobody else can use it. So hosting is where you save your website files. And your website is actually the website itself that you're developing. So now we now have programming languages. Programming languages are languages that the computer understands. These are the languages that you use to instruct the system to do particular actions, and your ability or your level of intelligence determines the level of programming that the level of solution that you can deploy. So we have web programming languages. These are programming languages that the web understands. So when somebody tells you he's a programmer, some people are programmers. They build softwares, they build desktop applications, they build games. Some people are programmers, but their programming are web-based programming. So I, for one, I studied a lot of programming languages. I have good understanding of software and the mobile app and the rest. But my focus before I went into full business was the web programming. So I'm more of a web programmer. So web programmers are those that build applications that you can access via the web. Over the years, every programming language started going obsolete. Why? Because any solution you are building that is not web-based has limitations. So everybody is going to the web. So whether it's a website or an application, for instance, the internet banking, everybody tries to access their account via the internet. So it involves web programming. A combination of both high security programmers and the web programmers is what enables that kind of solution to exist. So now different programming languages include JavaScript, Java, Python, CSS, PHP, and the rest. So these are the kind of things that we will be discussing in the web design class sometime next week. So like I had mentioned, once I can get 5 very serious people, I'll probably want to talk to them so that I'm sure that these are the people that we are training. Anybody that comes in, join and leaves, we're fine. But I know that my focus is around these 5 to 10 people because we'll be dealing with assignments and I'll be wanting to get feedback because having 5 to 6, 7 days training requires seriousness. So that's a bit of what I want to discuss. Every other thing around this slides is for the proper web design and training. So that's just to give you an idea of how the website works. So your website needs to be seated on a server for you to achieve all this. So I had mentioned earlier, Linda Cage's blog. Linda Cage's blog is sitting on Google server. She uses a free blog, by the way, for those that just joined us. But her ability to have developed the kind of content that would drive value has been the secret to her succeeding in that line of business. So here's a blog. I want to just Google so that we can see other blogs, all those Bella Niger, their blogs. But blog doesn't necessarily have to be a news website or where latest just happened. A lot of organizations want blogs. And what do they do with their blogs? They use it to send, they use it to publish insights, researches, and for people who feel that they build some level of followers and they can write very good articles, can also own or manage a blog. Now we have people who will tell you that I need a blog, or I don't want all those free blogs. I need a professional blog. And you can tell the person, well, with 30K, 50K, you can set up a professional blog. So for me, I charge minimum of 50K. So because usually the blog is like the lowest kind of website, kind of type of website that people would want. For those that want free blog, you can direct them to having their free blog on WordPress.com. WordPress is a software you use to build blog websites. But on their website, you can sign up for a free blog. Yes, they will encourage you to pay and get a domain name and the rest. So WordPress. Now, the the thing about the free WordPress website, the free WordPress blog is when you sign up for a blog called Olumide blog, your domain name will be olumide.wordpress.com, unless you now want to pay for a premium domain to be tied to your blog. So I would just work with a free available web server that I had prepared for this class. Sorry, let me just trying to have a website open now. So I have a friend called Pelumi Ajibola. We want to design a blog for him, and this blog is going to be a professional blog because he has paid for a domain and hosting, and we just want to access his domain server via the control panel. So now, at the moment, if I open the website called pelumiajibola.com blank, you can see the message saying website coming soon. So it's hosted on a one hosting company called Emotion, and so something is blocking my screen. So I'm logged into his control panel. Most control panels, cPanel is a popular control panel software that comes with a lot of websites. So this is where the web programmer or administrator manages the database of the website, the file. So for you to get your own domain name and website, we can discuss that one later. But there are popular hosting companies in Nigeria and in the world like GoDaddy. I don't want to dive into much details around hosting so that we don't digress. But GoDaddy.com is a popular hosting company. In Nigeria here, we have Google Host. Yeah, I think those ones are doing good. We have Web for Africa.com. This popular one that keeps keeping my mind. But Google Host, I think Google Host is pretty much popular. Yeah, I think there's one other guy called Smart Web. So on this website, you can register your smartweb.com. On this website, these hosting companies, you can pay for a domain and hosting. They usually sell them together because most people don't register domain when they don't have intention of not developing a website. So like I mentioned, domain name could be any name that you prefer. So over time, because I've always known that, well, I might see the need to want to use my name as for a website or for a blog or for something, I had registered all my names, olumideabikoye.com, luabikoye.com, so that nobody in the future, and I try as much as possible. These are things that you renew annually. That's also very important. So don't think that once you pay for a domain and hosting, it's like paying rent on the internet. At the end of the 1 year period, you're expected to renew. They usually cost an average of $10, $15, $20, depending on the space and the, maybe let's just say space and technically the memory size of what you plan to do. So WordPress is an application that comes with every website. So if I click on this button, I want to install the WordPress on this. So to install the WordPress, it's telling me that I want to install WordPress on WordPress 5.2.1. I guess this is the version that this particular control panel has available on the site. That's the version that this control panel has available on the website. Sorry. Let me mute all. Okay, sorry, my volume went off. So now, and I just installed. So what this does is there are files, folders that are required to manage a WordPress website. So this control panel at the moment just tries to extract the files, publish them at the necessary places so that we can get started. Usually doesn't take this long. Okay, so now this is to tell us that the website is ready. WordPress has been installed on the website with the username as stated here. So if I visit the website again now, the website has changed to something else, telling me that, oh, my WordPress website is ready. Hello world. So this is an evidence that the installation was successful. And now to manage the website, WordPress has a folder called WP/admin. What that does is it gives you access to the backend to manage the website. So the installation is complete. This is the username. And this is the password. So I'm in. Now, this tells us that I have successfully installed WordPress and I can manage my website from here. This is the front end. This is my website itself. So anything I want to appear on this website, I have to adjust it here. So the first thing you do once you have your WordPress website ready is to install a theme. Your theme are templates that you want to work with. So the first thing I do is to look for a theme that suits what I want. At the moment, this is the theme that's on the website. These are other themes that I can alternate with. But I usually like to add a new theme, and I search the WordPress repository of themes. So if I think, oh, I want to design a website for a hospital, I just maybe look for a hospital theme. Now, here you can find all the free hospital themes that you might want to use for your website. When we want to treat website itself, we'll touch all these areas. But for now, we're looking for a blog. So the same way I look for blog, so I can see different blog themes. These are different blogs. If I want my blog to look this way, if I want my blog to look this way, if I want my blog to look this way. So depending on the design concept that I'm trying to adopt. So usually because blogs are where people come to read your articles, your ideas and all that, you probably want to choose something simple and straightforward, you know. Let's just go with this one. So let's say this is the theme I want to work with for my blog. So I click on install. So I click on install. And it tells me it has been installed. So I activate that theme. Now, activating the theme, what it means that if I go back to the website, which is Pelumi Ajibola, and I refresh my page, that theme has been activated, meaning that well, this is the theme that I chose. The theme looks similar to what we have. The reason why it's looking grotesque is because we've not started adding content. We've not customized it. So now I'm satisfied that this is the theme I want to use. Now I want to further customize the WordPress. So I come to customize. So note, you install your WordPress, you customize, you activate the theme you want to use. You now customize that theme. So here, when you go to customize, there are different themes like we saw earlier. If I had chosen another theme, by the time I customize, the option that I might be having here will be different. Why? Because it gives me the ability to customize the customizable functionalities for that theme. So I can choose customize another time if I'm on a different theme and probably not see site layout. I might see something different. I might see something different for footer. I might see something different for site identity. But usually, the first thing you want to look at is your site identity to say, well, what's the website about? And now say Pelumi Ajibola. Ajibola. This is the name of the guy we're designing this blog for. What's the tagline? Number one HR practitioner in Nigeria, or let's say number one HR coach in Nigeria. So let's just say this is what he wants there. Now, if it's a brand that has a logo, you can browse your system, pick a logo for that particular blog. Trying to get a simple logo that will not disturb. Okay, let's use this logo. So now it's telling me that the space allocated is probably for a small logo, but I can reshape it to accommodate everything. So at this point, the logo appears on the blog. But the blog is designed to have a small logo, and that is why as soon as this is my big logo job, it pushes the header. And you can do away with the logo if you can create something that has to fit in for the name. So I can design a logo like similar to this. Sorry, let me just see what I can find. Something I was used recently. Okay, maybe I should use, let me just crop out. You know, ability to design website also requires you to know how to use some, basic functionalities around Photoshop, because when it comes to images that are bigger than what you can manage, you now have to start resizing, readjusting, and the rest. So let me just save this and assume this is the logo we want to use for logo 2. So let me replace the logo with the one we just saved. Okay, so I think this guy seems to be more adequate for the space above. You can see, because that is the kind of shape that fits this banner. I can leave that as the logo and hide the name, and that just stays there as the logo for the blog. If I choose that, okay, I want the name to appear, so that's why you have the display site title and tag, or you take it out. So let's just leave the logo, to serve as the brand name. So I can publish this and move out of this space. If you want to change the color of your header area, you can see as you're adjusting the color, the header area changes color. So these are things that once you have access to WordPress templates. You can play around your header, your footer, and the rest. So this is footer background. By the way, these are headers, the top part of the website. Footer is the bottom part. The center part is usually referred to as the body of the page. So if I were to change my footer to a different color, so this is what will appear. I can like to choose a color around the logo above so that there's some form of consistency in the layout. I've chosen a background for my footer. There should be a part where you can change the text color of your footer. So this is footer text color. I can now choose white so that the text can stay on the purple. The footer also has a link. If you have an hyperlink on your footer, what color should it be? So that your text are readable. That's why we're doing all this adjustment. So in the meantime, I feel I'm satisfied with the way my header and footer is. If there are other things I want to play around, like I'll be developing menus, but I'll come back to menu later, and widgets. These two things are very important for any kind of website, whether it's a blog or your other website. So if I were to design, if I wanted my blog to address 4 topics, let's say business, politics, and sport. So those are the area of interest I want to be posting things, and I want to have those menu somewhere at the top. Those will be referred to as categories of posts. So I need to first go and create those categories before I start creating other functions. So at the moment, I'm satisfied with the layout of my blog. I can now go to posting messages and then creating pages. So for now, I think I might need a web page that will talk about me. So I want to create a page. These are just sample pages that you meet there. You can delete them if you feel you don't need a privacy policy page or the rest. So move to trash, apply. So I can create a new page and call that I can create a new page and say the name of this page is, sorry, the name of this page is about Pelumi. And if I have content that I want to write about Pelumi, I just drop it there. So let me just go and steal content from another website, so we have something to put there. Let me just look for. So let's say I want to use this write-up as a content for, obviously, you have what you want to write about yourself. So let's say that is what I want to write. If I'm not ready to publish it yet, I can save it as draft. But at the moment, we're ready to publish that page. So I have a page called About Pelumi. Let's say I want to create another page. I just click New Page. Sorry, New Page. So let's say I want to say contact us or contact me. And the content of the page is for more information and feedback. You can reach me with the details below. Phone, email, blogging, so this is like I've created another page. Now, if you have to add images, other things in your page, for every paragraph you have this controls that give you liberty to bold, italics, and manage other functionalities. around inserting other HTML codes into the page. But these are things that would talk more in details once we are dealing with website itself. But for a blog, you just most likely want to write an article, just insert an image on that page. So now those two pages are ready. Under pages, if I want to see all my pages, I think I didn't publish that second page. I didn't, that's a mistake. Oh, it wasn't even a page, it was a post. Sorry. Sorry, I was on that post. I thought I was on that page. There's a difference between creating a post and creating a page. A page is actually a web page on your blog or your website, whereas a post is an article that you want to push on your blog. So let me recreate the page. So let's say I call this contact us and I publish. So technically I've created two pages, about Pelumi and contact us, right? So if I come to my menu, you can find menu under appearance. This is where you try to create the menus for your website. But at the moment, my blog does not have its full menu yet. Pages automatically come because you have created those pages. If I don't want a page to show, this is where I remove them. So the menu defines all the pages that are on my website. Now, another thing that you also need to know is if I need to create, if I want this contact us to be under Pelumi, that's under about Pelumi, I just move it a bit forward. So the page looks similar to this. So this becomes a sub-page under about Pelumi. At that point, if I save this, about Pelumi will tend to be the only menu. About Pelumi will tend to be the only menu. Then under About Pelumi, we'll have contact us. That is for the menu itself. What I did here earlier was to add it to the header, because if you don't specify that this menu should sit on the header, it won't. So if I move this one back and I save the menu and I refresh this page, you have them standing as individuals. You can rearrange your menu. If I want the about to come before home and contact us, I just drag them and move them accordingly and save. That way, I've rearranged how I want my menus to display. Now, for my post, for a blog, this is where the blogger spends all this time. He just creates new blog posts. So if I have a particular article that I want to write, so for instance, I want to write mediocrity kills as a post, I can let me go and look for the article on mediocrity. Let me see. So let's say I want to work with this content for, let's say this is the content I want to use for that blog post. I copy what I want to use there and I paste it here. So this is where the blogger spends his time. You just keep creating posts. But there's something very important on when you create a blog post. You probably want to tie an image to that, your post. So there's what we call featured image. That's the image that you're tying to this post. So I need to browse for a picture that goes along with this particular post. So let's say for the topic, for that particular topic, this is the picture I intend to use. And I save. So that serves as the featured image for this post. And I publish. Once I do that, anybody that visits the website would find that new article there saying mediocrity kills. Do you understand? And when they want to read more, they click on read more. It takes them to the page and they can read more about the story. This is exactly how blog posts are done. Now, I just want to add maybe 4 more posts. Let me just choose something else. For the purpose of the class, I will just use the same content. The same content. I give this one another topic. Let's say competence is key. I look for another image for that particular post. So people who write, who publish blog, after they've set up their blog, this is all that they do. Now, let me not use someone's face. So once I'm satisfied with the write-up, I save. That is another post. I click do another post. So the more posts I have on my blog, the more posts I add to my blog, the more displays I have on the front end. So let's say I have another, say talent is overrated. And so let me just pick. So now from your end on your system, we can quickly see that the website Pelumi Ajibola has 4 posts already. You know, remember that when we came to see all the posts that were in the blog, we made this hello world. This is like a draft post. So now you can delete it because it's not you can delete it because it's not valuable for you. So now you have 3 blog posts on your website. Okay, so let's say I want to add another post. This is just to create a balance of 4 posts. Yeah, say how to make, let's say how to make money. And I look for an image that depicts what I'm talking about. Just a second. Okay, sorry. I have to attend to something. So now this is the last one we want to add for now. Now, this tells us that we have four articles on our blog. Remember, this is the theme that we chose. The theme is deliberately tilting to the left. I think there's a reason why this part is left blank. And if it's left blank, it means that there are widgets that might sit on that part of the page. But before we go far, under your post, you can create different categories. You might want to categorize your post. So I create a category called business. I create a category called leadership. And I can create a category called career. So let's say these are the categories of posts. I remember mentioning that I wanted to add sport. So this way, I've created my categories, which I can tie each of my posts to. So for all the posts that I've done, I can choose to tie the one that says how to make money. I can tie it to business. I want that one to be business. So this is how you edit your post. So if there's a mistake, or you want to make an addendum, you can do that from here. You look at all posts, you select the one you want to edit, you click on the edit button. Quick edit is if what you want to edit are basic stuff like what I just did. So for talent is overrated, let's say that's a career update. That should be under career. We can even have it tied to two categories. It doesn't matter. Competence, I can say, okay, this one is both business, career, and leadership. I say mediocrity is under career and leadership. So if I have a new post, let's just take the liberty to add one. And I said champions, I don't know, Champions League begins next week. Maybe I just have my thoughts around Champions League beginning next year, and I see this is sport. I paste or type whatever content I want to type, and sorry, on that document, and I look at the image. For we that were at the last class, you remember how to go and get your images. You can check Pixabay if you're looking for high resolution images, because these are what makes your website fine. But at the moment, I'm sure I can find the Champions League image sitting somewhere on the internet that is safe to use without worrying about copyright. Let me use this one. This one looks sharper. Okay, so I save this image and come back to my WordPress for the image I just saved. Now, why I'm doing this is so that we can have more menus, but these menus are going to be more of the categories. So I know I created these pages. For some people, they want their pages to be what people look at once they come to their blog. You can see that the blog itself can serve as a website where you talk about home, about thoughts. So I'll show you how to add images inside the body of your pages and blogs, home, about thoughts. So you can do simple website with WordPress, but our focus today is on the blog part. So here I go back to my menu under appearance. Now you can see that my menu are the pages that I created. But now I don't want the pages to be there. I just want to have home to come first. And I want my categories to form the menu. So I want leadership, careers, business, sport to be part of the menu. So they all come here. And I arrange them as I want. You understand? home, leadership, career, business, sport. And I'm satisfied with the way they are. I can still go back and add my contact page if I feel that the menus are too much, because that's what I'm afraid of at the moment, that if the menus are too much, they would, now it has moved this page below. I can now say, well, for my, sorry. I can now say for my menu, I want about to come under, contact us to come under about Balloon. So I save the menu now. That way, what I get is my menu would be home, leadership, career, business, sport. Under about, I can either click to read about us, or I come to the sub menu and click on contact us. Now, what have I done with this menu? If I click on leadership, I see only posts that are under the category leadership. If I click on career, I see only posts that are under the category careers. If I click on business, I see only posts that are under the category business. If I click on sport, I see only posts that are under the category sport. This way, you use the menu to categorize your post. For most newspaper websites, the Punch, the Guardian, they all use blogs. They use blog templates. They would not work with the premium blog templates. Why? Because they might not work with the free blog template because they want to maximize a lot of functionalities in the blog. So similar to what we've been looking at, they are all, it's just, this is the template they chose. This is how it displays their news. The right-hand side is what they use to manage their adverts, hot news, well, essentially adverts, so they don't distract the main page with news. So whereas the menu are the categories that I just created to tell you that, well, if I click on news, everything I see will just be news, right? If I click on sports, it means everything I'll be seeing will just be sport related. If I click on politics, it means everything that I'm seeing is just about politics. That's exactly what we have just done with this one. So the more content you have, the more fleshy or filled your page would be. So for this right side, like I mentioned when we're setting up the theme, that there are two things you would have to pay attention to: is your menu and your widget. You can see now you have what they call blog sidebar. They've designed the blog to have a sidebar. So what do you want to put on the sidebar? So for a blog, it's easier to say, I'll look for an advertisement plugin and put here. We'll be looking at plugin more when it comes to websites. Or no, we can look at plugin. We'll just take like a 10-15 minute break for question and answer so that I don't go too far. Then the last thing we'll touch will be plugin. So I can have, once I'm sure everybody's apart, be able to move into that. So usually what do I do with my sidebar? I say recent post, I drag it there. So I'm trying to create a sidebar out of the content in our blog. So by default, how many of the posts do you want to be there? I can say, well, I don't want it to be more than maybe the top 3, the most recent 3 posts should be there. I can title it latest posts, and I see. So this is one widget I brought into the sidebar. Another widget that is popularly moved to the sidebar is to say comments, meaning that, oh, how many comments, how many of my recent comments should I put there? I can just say 5 is fine. We can just leave it as 5. If there's any other thing that's important for me to put on the sidebar, so for instance, this is where I put a simple text about what they call him, the author of the text. So I can say add this to what a widget. You know, you can arrange this. So this is a text, latest post, recent comments. I can quickly add a simple text saying about me, which is I am a very dedicated blogger having access to classified information in country. So this way, I have also created some widgets for the side part of my website. So if I go back to visit melumiajibola.com, you can now see that the website is not as blank as it was because those widgets have appeared here. So people come, read more about your website, about your write-up. They scroll down, read, they are very excited and they want to leave a comment. You know, they can leave a comment here by writing their name and posting comments. One thing about WordPress, in order to put control, you would most likely not want to leave your comments open. If someone who is not an admin, because I'm the one that owns the blog and I'm writing my comments, is appearing straight. And you can see that recent comments is also being populated. So if I read another article, or let me visit the site on a different browser, so it sees it as a different person entirely. So you can see the title bar says Pelumi Ajibola, #1 HR coach in Nigeria. I am interested. I've read how to make money, and I say, oh well, this your post is very enlightening. Give my spelling. So I can write my name because you know you that you want to post, you want to write your name that well. My name is Kayode. In case the author wants to get back to you, put your name. And once you post, once you make your comment also goes to the back end. But for a random person, what usually happens is the owner of the blog gets notified that somebody posted on your blog. So his own is to go and read it and approve it. Why? Because if he doesn't approve it, the blog does not show. You must leave this feature. This is the only way you can mitigate your website from being hacked by hackers. But when people post anyhow, somebody can post a content that could be a code that could run and disrupt your solution. Somebody can come and post rubbish on your blog, can upload porn pictures, and you might not like to have that kind of experience. So until it's approved, it doesn't show that such comments was on the website. So now if I refresh, it gives me an idea that one Kayode posted on this. So the beautiful thing is the more you post, the more you write, the more fleshy your blog becomes. So on a blank, on a very fresh system, you can see that the blog looks more interesting. So let's take one or two questions. If there's none, I'll just move on. In another 15-20 minutes, we should be done. So I'm unmuting all the volumes so that we can take our questions. So if you want to talk, you probably just let me know, then I'll mute every other person and unmute and just unmute only you. Any question?
Yeah, hi, good morning. This is Hassan.
Okay. Okay, so we can only hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
All right. This is fantastic. This is the first time I'm actually signing on to the class. Wonderful job. However, I wanted to just ask some few questions. You know that in Nigeria today, a lot of people want to go into blogging because they kind of make money from it. Everybody
Yeah.
is trying to be the Yenda KG, famous,
Yeah.
and everybody that makes money from it. Now,
Okay.
apparently, from all the um, tutorials that you have shown us today, uh, I was particular about if it's possible that the same way we're putting up images in our posts, if we can also put videos.
Okay.
That is one. If the video will have if there's going to be inspiration, as in is it a 2 minutes, 5 minutes video, or you can just put up any video uh, that you want to put on it. You know, that's basically the first of my questions.
Okay.
Because I noticed that all the examples that we have done now in
Okay.
the class have been with images. So I was
Okay.
wondering if we go into the second, we're going to the second session, if it is possible that we could get an idea of if we want to put a post and we want it to be like a video feed. Like for instance, if I'm doing the blog about like an Uber blog, and I have this thing about showing videos of something just happened in a semester. I wanted to capture it on video. I wanted to put it on my blog. You know,
Okay.
if it's the same process as adding images, or if we
Okay.
have to go through a different direction to
Okay.
get the people done.
Okay. All right. I've noted your questions now. So I'd say there are two things. One, how do we advertise? Because that's a critical factor for having a blog in the first place. Then two, how to add videos to your post. So let me take other questions, then we'll jump right straight at that. So I'll mute you now and unmute Sunday. So, Oga Sunday,
Yeah,
you're live.
I'm with you, sir. Thank you, moderator. You mentioned something concerning control panel. You said something about C panel. Does that mean the C panel controls the whole activity of the web?
The control panel, as it is, controls your own part of the web. So this is what it is. When you sign up for a website, you have your website is sitting on a server. Now this server can warehouse, let's say, 50 other websites. So they can have a website. They can. Okay, I run a hosting company. The name of the hosting company is a hosting server. Now, because you would not need to be contacting me when you want to upload your website, so you must have your own username and password to your own portion of the server that manages your website. So that control panel is your own control over your own posts on the website, on the server. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right. So I'll unmute everybody again to see if there are any question. Any question? All right. So let me attend to Oga Azan's questions. I'll just mute all again. Okay, so my Oga, your question is very valid. We're still going to come there, but I wanted to be sure that so far we're able to understand how to add post pages and sort out menu. This is a basic structure that with practice you can always choose more complex themes and more functionalities. Now, WordPress is a how more people have contributed to the solution. So it means that if I need a particular functionality, I can always find a plugin to help me do that. For your videos, for every post, yes, you can add videos. There are two ways to add video to a post. Now, it's usually advisable to save your server from disk space. So I would always recommend that you probably upload your video to YouTube and now embed your YouTube link to your post. The other option is within your post, you have the liberty to add a media file. This version of WordPress is a very recent one. So, and normally there's always insert menu somewhere at the top. Now, here you can add image. Okay, this particular blog does not give you the liberty to just add video. So you just have to embed a YouTube video. So let's say I've uploaded a video. For those that don't know how to create a upload video on YouTube, once you have a Gmail account and you're signed in, you can always create a video. Just upload a video. It sits under your account. But what you need from the video really is your. Let me skip this advert. Is the link to that particular video. And you come on that. Every video has a share button. So you look for the one that says embed. Embed is going to display a small code snippet called an iframe. Iframes are plugged into any part of your website and they display. So for this particular post that says champions link, I think it will be ideal to have a Messi's or maybe a Champions League video. Yeah, let's say I want to share this particular video. I go back to my share, I click on the embed, I just highlight this entire snippet and paste it where I want. Now, you either paste it or you select that you want to paste an HTML. That way, it's easier for the browser to interpret it as a video. I always change the width. Why? Because the width of the video here is 560. While I maintain the same height, I just change the width to 100%, meaning that it maintains the width of that area specified for the video. Now, if I come back to the web page, while I'm scrolling through the news, you see the video exactly where you want to watch it in your write-up. It happens a lot when you're reading a lot of go.com stories. So another way you can do this, if the video is not on YouTube and you probably have the video in some other link, you use the same approach. But this requires someone that understands HTML. The unique thing that is here is the access to the link. This SRC means that this is the video. So the video could have been any other video. I'll just keep replacing that source is what you're pulling out of the video. Before I continue, let me quickly confirm from Ogazan if that is satisfactory. Boss.
Yeah. Very satisfactory.
Okay,
Yeah, very, very.
So let's move to the advert. Okay, now for the adverts and a whole lot of stuff that you can achieve with WordPress are always embedded in plugin. Now, why do we have to rely on plugin? If you really want to manage advert very well, the likes of what we have on the Punch Paper, the Linda KG. Linda KG is probably not, well, we know she's not a programmer or developer. And before she started hiring people to manage her content for her, she was doing everything for herself. And even the almighty newspaper websites, including the likes of CNN, whoever is the administrator cannot keep programming advert. So it means that if I have an advert and somebody pays me to put an advert online for 1 week or for 1 month or for 2 months or 3 months, by the time I start having like 10, 15, 20 adverts, do I need to manually start marking the dates, or do I need to start looking for a web developer to now build an advert management software for me? So the thing about WordPress is there's nothing you want to think about. You understand? Even as I don't use WordPress because I usually build my website for that, I'm more comfortable that way. I know that there's nothing I want to think of developing that WordPress doesn't have. So if I come to plugins are additional things that you want to bring into your website that technically might not be part of your theme. So, my mascot, a typical example is an image gallery. This theme does not have an image gallery. It doesn't have a photo gallery. And I want to create a photo gallery with both images and video. I'm sure if I look for a plugin like that, I'll find. Now, there are other plugins that we would quickly touch immediately after this one. And one of them is the social media plugins. Because now, when you have a blog post, the next thing is to be able to share your write-up. People should be able to click on a link and see what you've done. I'm trying to reach NG. Sorry. Let me just open one of these. Sorry. So now you can see the whole right side of Punch Paper is dedicated for advert. So as against what we've done to manage, we want to see about us, we want to see latest posts, we want to see, Punch knows that you look for what you're looking for on their website. So now we might want to redesign this place to accommodate adverts. So one thing you need to do is to say, you come to plugin, add new. Then first thing, look for ad. Just, I've not even used an advert plugin in a very long time. Just type what you're looking for. So you look at the ratings. You see this one, obviously, it's 5-star. It was still updated 2 weeks ago. And it's telling me it's compatible with my current WordPress version. I might want an ad rotator, which is something that they use a lot on the top part of your website. So while I'm looking at it, some might be free, some might not be free. A lot of them are free. They might just have paid functionality. So this one, let's just work with it. And they're telling you that it's currently active on over 200 websites. So we know we should go with this. So I just installed the plugin. Once it tells you it's installed on your blog. But one thing you need to know about plugin is because every plugin have different way of operating, you need to install plugin. You need to first go and look at sorry, I was supposed to click on details. There's some basic information that they would put for you, like a README, how to use it, that comes with each of those kind of plugin. So this is where you probably want to spend time to say, okay, this plugin does this. It also works with AdSense. They want you to read some form of documentation first to understand how the plugin works. Once you're satisfied looking at all the blah, 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 blah that they've put together, you can start using it. But there's something I'm sure we can easily figure out without having to read much. So it's telling me now that, okay, we like to track, we don't record, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I want my advert to show on the post. Maybe I want it to appear before a post or before a content. You know, some adverts appear in between text. Let's go and look for another plugin. This one looks like a very robust one that if you don't read through it, you might not figure it out. I think I saw something that looks like something I've used before. Advert, sorry. Yeah, it looks familiar. Let's try this one. So this one says manage your advert the easy way, monetize your website with ad rotator. So let's activate this one as well. Sorry, one of my AirPods batteries here. Please, can you raise your hand if you can hear me Sunday? I need Sunday since Sunday knows what I say. Hello? Okay, cool. So let me just continue then. And so this other one, they have the pro version and okay, yeah, this is the one I've used before. So this is pretty much straightforward. If you come to Ad Rotator, what this does is it gives you the liberty to create your adverts here, manage adverts. Now these are adverts on maybe like dummy advert that you have. So you can create a new advert. Let's say I call the name of this advert COVID-19 sanitizer. I don't know what to do. So there's an advert code WordPress banner. If you want to pick from a set of banner folder, let's just say this is what we want to use. Enable this to be visible. Click for any of the examples to use. So these are so this is like an example of how you use the banner to work. Let me say this first. So if it were to be an image, I'll put the same thing. So now this one says that the banner is from April 25th to July 18th. Let's say, okay, I didn't look out for the end date though. So this I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how you now plug in, whether you now have to copy this particular code where you want your banner to appear. Let me go back to our widget. So because we want the banner to appear on the right side of the page, I can as well just come here, pick a blank HTML, like custom HTML. I want to add it to my side widget. So meaning that I can have a blank HTML. Something I didn't mention also in widget, you can also add a search to your widget, meaning that the search comes first, then this custom HTML comes next. So let me first confirm if this was done right. So usually for WordPress, you look for your exact you look for your exact. I don't think that will work, but after the search, nothing displayed properly. Okay, just a second. Let me go back to. Let me just. So it's a case where we're supposed to read through the oh, sorry. So this is what I was supposed to do. In a post or page, anywhere you paste this. But I knew you can see that the document says use it, so that you know where to use that particular advert. So I go back to my widgets. I knew I'd use this particular type of advert thing before. I can write ads as a title, so it just displays at the top of the. But there's something still tricky that you need to know. What you are meant to do really is to create. Because I remember the something is still wrong. Let's just get this. Talent is overrated. Oh, okay. Now, for the plugin, for the widget, I will have to go and rewrite it. I wanted to be sure that it's pulling the advert correctly. So as soon as I added that short code in between a page, it displayed there. So for every plugin that you bring in, you just need to take out time to study it very well. So you don't start mixing the usage. So that particular advert that was created, there's a size that there's a size tied to it. So number one, we use an image that is bigger than the size, so it's making that place not look manageable. So if I have to do another advert, I might need to look at the specifications around what was set in the documentation. So now, if I do this new advert, this is in a post or in a page. Now, the mascot, sorry, I want to be sure you have with me. He's no longer here. Okay, so for every other person, what I didn't look at, I was trying to rush through the advert to answer his question. But for advert, on your widget, it says that drag the add rotate widget to the sidebar. So naturally, on my widget where we have the widget, instead of me creating this guy here, it means that as soon as I plugged in that advert, there's a plugin that has joined our plugins here. So this takes care of the adverts that we're looking for. Now, if I refresh the page, the advert ID is Something is blocking the screen. Okay. This should. On the website on the page. Okay, what I'll do is so that we don't waste too much of our time. I'll sort out this advert thing, then I'll do a separate video and just share so that we don't burn all our time. I'll just read through the documentation, but technically, because it's a plugin, you need to see what whoever has developed that plugin, how the person expects it to work before we go ahead and use it. So I guess it's the plugin that is affecting it. But I'm sure also it's because of the size of the advert, because this is the image I want to put for a box that is this big, and that could also be posing a problem. So I guess I'll just note that down. So I'll be doing a short video on the advert widget stating what exactly I figured out around that. So for our class today, I believe I've covered all the questions that was asked. There's only one thing that is left here, which is to be able to add a share this functionality. You also have to install a plugin around that. You look for a plugin that says share post or share this, because share this is the popular plugin for sharing your post on social media. So share this. We could use this. Install this one. What this does is a line of code that you just add to your page that makes it easy for you to be able to share content similar to what we have in my own website. So this are social media plugins. When you read a particular article, this as well. So if I'm very happy with this post and I wish to share with people on my own social media, I can just click on Facebook. It pulls my profile from Facebook and tries to share this post. So a lot of people believe that the fastest way that write-up gets shared, where you have a share plugin integrated into your WordPress website. I guess that will be all for today. I will unmute the volume again to take final questions, then we can call it a wrap. Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess Taufik wants to talk, so let's mute every other person.
My name is Taufik. Please, I was going to how to share the post, but you've just talked about it. But can you please cap or just redo it for me, please?
Okay. So I'll do a proper share plugin. So that's one.
Okay. That's all.
So that's all. Okay. So any other question? Okay, Sunday, were you going to ask the question?
No, not at all, please.
Okay. Okay, so let me just attend to his, then okay, so like I mentioned, you look for, sorry, let me close some of these tabs. So once you plug in share this, you expect that you already registered with the share this is a external plugin that enables you to share different types of items on your website. So once you click on that, the next option is to ask you, what platforms do you want to share your post? Okay, I want people to share just on Facebook, on Twitter. People can share via email, and people can share. I'm trying to look for WhatsApp icon, but I know because I remember share this having WeChat and WhatsApp. So people can share my blog post on this platform. This is how the button will appear, unless you want something different, whether you want it to be on the left of your post, on the middle of the page, or on the right. The left is ideal for a normal post. I can say I want a medium shape, I want a large shape, but, or I want a small one. You can also change the whether you wanted to show this counter to see how many times it has been shared, or you want to hide that one. So these are you want your share button to be very curved or boxed, depending on your theme. If your theme has a lot of curved objects, you might want to, once you've selected the type of the list of items you want to share, there's also somewhere where you can change this to normal icons or normal icons like this. I'm looking out for that. Whether you want to share counts, whether you don't want to share. So none just drops all the icons. Do you understand? Because me, I prefer it like this. It's very neat and nice. So once you're done and you're satisfied, you register. So for someone that already has an account with them, I hope I remember the password there, because I don't want to keep creating different accounts. An account already exists. Okay, let me just use a different email, like okay, I think I've used this one before. So that way, yeah, you can put final touches if you are satisfied with what you have here. This tells you these are WordPress settings. So I want it to be at the top of my posts, and I want it to be at the bottom of my post. Do you understand? If I want it to be at the top of the page body, I just feel it's okay for just my post, because those are the things that those are where I'll be needing it. If there's a particular place where I want to use it, this is the short code. You probably just want to save this somewhere. Let me copy it out. And if you are satisfied, you are done, you update. Because I had this option selected that I wanted to be at the top of my post and at the bottom of my post, by default, if I open any of my posts, I should have the shared buttons there. Meaning that, if somebody finds this post interesting, I can share it on WhatsApp. Do you understand? I can share it on Twitter. And it takes the topic with the exact URL. I can share this right up on Facebook. It picks all the elements that the write-up contains and gives you the liberty to post on those platforms. So I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes.
Okay, so at the end of this class, I'll be sharing the video. I'll be sharing the video on via YouTube. The secretary of our Frigate Empowerment Committee will share the video.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I think that's about it. If there's any other thing, you can always contact me on WhatsApp. I'm sure most of us were already talking there. All right, so we'll share this at the end of the class. Thank you for your time, and I hope it was valuable.
You're always welcome.